Guys, some really sad news has just come out. The singer and performer, one of the most enigmatic people on social media and in the music game, Oliver Tree, has just died in what sounds like a horrific helicopter crash in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And it's not just him. Apparently, a very, very famous YouTuber also died along with him, as well as 4 other people. I've got some big updates for you guys. I've got kind of as much of the information about this situation as I could possibly find now. It's going to be a developing situation, and I'm sure there's more news that's going to come out, but I'm just going to give you all of the news that we've got at this stage so that you guys can just get an understanding of what's going on. And rest in peace to Oliver Tree, man. This is somebody that, you know, it's not a hip-hop artist, but it was somebody that I admired his style. I admire his his creativity in music. It wasn't the genre of music I was most into, but I always would see him going viral with these crazy outfits, these amazing music video concepts. Like, this is kind of a tribute that's been posted to him, and it's showing a bunch of clips from his music videos. This guy was just an incredible talent, and it's so sad to hear that he's passed away in this horrific helicopter crash. So I've got a big update for you guys here. This is kind of a big news article that's got quite a lot more information than some of these other outlets that are posting about this now. But this sort of breaks it down. Oliver Tree, as well as a famous YouTuber called Gatsby, are among the victims of this helicopter crash in Rio de Janeiro. The American singer Oliver Tree is among the victims of the air accident. It occurred on Sunday in Rio de Janeiro. And according to information confirmed by CNN Brazil from the civil police sources, AP reports the artist appeared on a passenger list that was handed over to the aeronautical authorities. The formal identification of the bodies was still pending. And this is just 3 minutes ago this article was posted. And so I don't know if that's a photo of the actual helicopter itself or a similar helicopter, but it's just really sad. And so let's get into the details. It says, American singer Oliver Tree and YouTuber Gatsby are among the victims of this helicopter crash that occurred this Sunday in Rio de Janeiro, according to information published by CNN Brazil, which cites information from the civil police of Rio de Janeiro. The AP agency also reports that police communicated that Oliver Tree appeared on the passenger list provided to the aeronautical authorities, although it qualifies that the bodies of the victims haven't been identified yet. The accident left 6 people dead in the Recreio dos Bandeirantes neighborhood in the west zone of Rio de Janeiro. The 2 aircrafts collided in mid-flight Sunday morning and fell into an urban area, which also caused a fire in the area where vehicles were parked. So I've seen some people reporting that the helicopters actually collided and then crashed into like an electric vehicle parking lot or charging area, which probably made it even bigger, more fearsome explosion, because some of these these EV car batteries, they're not safe. They explode crazy if the batteries on these cars are punctured. It says information about Oliver Tree became known after Brazilian authorities began identifying the victims of the crash. CNN Brazil reports the American singer is among the deceased and attributes the confirmation to the civil police of Rio de Janeiro. The list published by the Brazilian media included Oliver Tree as a passenger on 1 aircraft. AP, on the other hand, maintains a more cautious formulation. The police reported that Oliver Tree was on the passenger list provided to aeronautical authorities, but the formal identification of the bodies was still pending. I mentioned that a few times. So 6 people have passed away in this incident. 2 aircrafts collided in the air and ended up crashing to the ground. So 5 people were in 1 aircraft and there was only 1 pilot in the other. It makes me wonder, was the other helicopter perhaps filming? Oliver Tree does these big, crazy music videos with wild concepts, super creative, no doubt. He might have had some cool concept where in a helicopter, maybe he's singing out the side of a helicopter, or they filming something crazy. I don't know for sure, but that would be in character for him. So sadly, none of the people on board survived. Emergency teams identified 5 bodies on 1 aircraft, later found the 6th victim in the second helicopter, which fell 100 meters from the first impact point. So it says, after the fall, one of the helicopters impacted an area with parked vehicles and caught fire. The flames affected about 20 cars, which that makes me think it's electric cars. And I've seen other articles saying that. It says the impact scattered fragments of the aircraft into nearby areas, including surrounding buildings. Authorities were cordoning off the area while firefighters, the civil police, and the aeronautical investigation teams were working. The fire was later controlled, but the area is still under surveillance while investigators are carrying out the details. So apparently this is the full list of people that have passed away. It says Oliver Tree, Lucas Vignale, Gaspar Prim, Lucas Brito Chavez, and the pilot Alexandre Souza in 1 aircraft, and then the other aircraft was pilot Charles Marcelac in the second helicopter. So Gaspar Prim was identified by Brazilian media as an Argentinian YouTuber known as Gatsby, with millions of followers on social media. I'll show you his channel in a minute. I hadn't actually heard of him until this story, but clearly they were over there doing some kind of content. So people are saying, what was he doing in Brazil? Oliver Tree was in Brazil as part of his international music activities. He recently performed in Sao Paulo. He was continuing with his world tour. It's just so sad, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I check out Oliver Tree on Instagram. Does he have stories up in Brazil? There's no stories up on his account currently, but it looks like, he was on a world tour, 24 hours in Brazil. So I don't want to play the music, unfortunately, but this was what was this, 1 day ago? This is just 1 day ago. So sad to see that he was out in Brazil having an amazing time, doing his thing, being himself, doing what he does best, man. And just so sad that he got on that helicopter and it didn't work out. I got to say, I've said it before, man. I'm not really rocking with helicopters, bro. Kobe Bryant went out in a helicopter, passed away. I just don't trust these helicopters. I'm not going to lie, bro. I don't think I would get on a helicopter anytime soon. Last time I was on a helicopter, I was absolutely shook. So, he over there doing collaborations, he playing big shows. It's just so sad. And, you got people in here talking about Gatsby as well, passing away. People saying it's just so sad, rest in peace. It's just unbelievable, man. So sad. So there's a lot of news going around. Obviously, there's more information about this Argentinian YouTuber Gatsby. It's being reported that that is the other victim of the helicopter crash. There's a picture of him there, and I can show you kind of a couple of things about him. So this is his Instagram, and he was very, very popular over there. He's got 2.9 million followers. Is that 10 million subscribers on YouTube, or is that him with someone else's plaque? He's popping, man. And just so sad to see and find out that he went out this way. It's just tragic. So this is Gatsby's YouTube account. He's got 2.83 million subscribers. Now what's crazy, there's only 9 videos on here. Now I don't know how he's pulled that off. I don't know how I don't know how he's pulled that off, but he's popping on Kick. He is prolific. Okay, his top videos here has got 13 million views, making people angry in the street. Now he hasn't uploaded in quite a while. He did a documentary of him in Spain. He's a big deal. Is this him having a boxing fight or something? Like, him and Oliver Tree going out in this way is just so sad, man. Now I did see a couple of articles calling him an American YouTuber, but it seems pretty obvious he's Argentinian from other reporting, or maybe he's Argentinian American. I think actually this article was wrong, but anyway, this article, I put this article on my list earlier, and they'd had it wrong. Originally, it said American YouTuber, and they've updated it now to say Argentine YouTuber. But this article's got a few more details. Now, I don't know if this is the actual picture. This does look like an electric vehicle parking lot with a serious fire in there. I think that actually might be a picture of the actual incident, but we're going to get some more information as time goes on. But obviously, this confirms that Oliver Tree and Gatsby were the victims of the incident. Now this has got a little bit more information. It says it happened around 9 a.m. local time. They still don't know exactly what caused the crash. Firefighters did confirm all 6 people did pass away. So one of the helicopters crashed in the Recreio district in the southwest of Rio, exploding on impact. It said it came down in a parking area used for electric vehicles, and it sparked a massive fire that spread to around 20 cars. So it says authorities says those killed included 4 passengers traveling in one helicopter, the pilot and the pilot of the second aircraft. And it did say helicopter traffic is common in Rio, where aircraft frequently operate along coastal routes over Guanabara Bay for private, tourist, and corporate travel. According to Brazilian news outlet G1, cited by the Spanish newspaper El Pai, the parking area struck by one of the helicopters was located on land belonging to an abandoned church. The site had reportedly been leased to the Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer BYD for vehicle storage. The crash prompted a large emergency response, with firefighters working to extinguish the blaze, secure the area, and recover the wreckage from the aircraft. So investigators are now trying to work out exactly what led to the collision. But for now, everybody is just, just devastated at this. We're seeing sort of tributes pouring in. Various platforms and people that have worked with him. I just saw this Rolling Loud did a tribute, rest in peace to Oliver Tree. And there's a lot of reactions going around on Reddit right now in a lot of different Reddit communities. This is r/World News, which is kind of one of the biggest subreddits really out here. People saying he died young, only 32, man. That is young, man. That's so sad. Says along with him, also in the same helicopter was YouTuber Gatsby. He was only 23. Says really sad because the guy had an addiction to alcohol and tobacco and was able to recover and openly talk about his addiction in public while already being a massive figure in the Spanish-speaking internet. He sent a positive message against addiction, lost 65 pounds and started to do sport and promote them. Really sad to see these two go. They seem genuinely nice off of camera. People saying, I'm a long-time listener. This hits hard. They're saying this is a horrible note to end the week on. The guy had so much more to do on the planet. Saying people are in extra disbelief because he's done hoaxes about dying before, but it's now been confirmed by multiple outlets. People are saying it's horrible. Only one outlet reported it, but now I'm seeing a lot of places reporting it. They're saying I went to a festival where he performed. The guy had an amazing stage presence. His comments between songs were genuinely hilarious, and he put a lot of effort into his performances. So sad to hear this. R.I.P. Stay weird wherever you are. This sucks a lot. I don't listen to his music much. He was extremely talented. One of a kind. Rest in peace, man. Terrible situation. Helicopters are way too sketchy. I'm not getting on no helicopters anytime soon. F the helicopters, bro. We're not doing that. All right? We're not doing that at all. So there's another update. This is going kind of around a lot of different subreddits, maybe ones that you wouldn't expect, but I believe this actually might be a picture of the crash. It says Oliver Tree passed away in a helicopter accident in Rio de Janeiro, and this is in the r/aviation subreddit. So they kind of obviously have got a lot more information than the average person. See if I can get this translated. Let's get it. There we go. So it says that it was confirmed that he was the person that passed away. I'm wondering if they had if that was a genuine picture, if it's just kind of like clickbait. So yeah, this is kind of some updates. This is him having a studio time, I guess, in Rio. That was just Saturday. So that was just yesterday. So Argentina YouTuber Gatsby has 7.5 million followers on social media, also passed away. Among the dead is also music producer Lucas Brito Chavez, also known as Lucas Frota, a Brazilian who lived in Miami. He'd been with Oliver Tree in recent days, posting on social media that he had made Oliver Tree sing Foro. He was an electronic producer, mainly of house music. He posted videos of his music and travels to various countries. Charles Marcillac was the pilot who was alone in one of the helicopters. A person close with the victim told CNN Brazil he was a very experienced and serious pilot. The people who flew with him admired him for his seriousness and commitment. He was a family man and loving. He apparently had music as a hobby. He posted performances and clips on social media, and he leaves behind a wife and 3 children. It's so sad because he was probably really, really excited to be working with someone like Oliver Tree as a musician himself. And so are these actually genuine pictures? I think these might be. It says helicopters reportedly collided in midair before crashing, according to preliminary information. So I guess this is actual footage or images of just the aftermath. You know, I'm not going to show you anything, and I don't think there is anything that's kind of grisly or gory. This is just giving you an idea of the scene. You know, this is clearly an electric vehicle parking lot, and this one looks like it crashed in the street. So it sounds like the 2 helicopters crashed not too close to each other. There was a little bit of distance between them, and it's just really messed up. So this is sort of a whole crowd gathering to kind of go and help and try and find out what's going on with this huge explosion in this parking lot. And it said it was in the parking lot of a church. This might be the church they were talking about here. But yeah, that is just so sad. So there's quite a few pictures in this article, actually. I'm quite surprised to see so many pictures. But it's just really, really sad. So that's actually a close-up picture of the helicopter on its... I guess they're spraying the helicopter with the fire extinguisher there, putting out the flames. But yeah, no, this is just so sad. So that's exactly where it took place. So I'm guessing this is the church. They leased this parking lot to BYD, and that's where the helicopter crashed, man. It's just heartbreaking. So then they're saying that's exactly where it happened. And the fire truck there is kind of working on it. I guess there's some debris. That looks like maybe the tail end of the helicopter there. But yeah, this is just so sad. And obviously it was, these electric cars completely burnt all the way through, burnt to a crisp, And that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize these electric car batteries, they're very, very dangerous. If the batteries on these cars are pierced, you got a whole bomb on your hands, okay? These things will explode. They'll go up in flames. They're very hard to put out. It's not as easy as just throwing water on them. So that's very messed up. It says at least 20 vehicles were set on fire after the helicopters crashed in the electric vehicle yard. So the aircraft collided in midair. So somehow those 2 helicopters crashed into each other, and then that's how they went down, man. So the forensic examination of the scene has been requested. Agents are conducting investigations to determine the facts. The incident is still ongoing. It has the support of the fire department, and they're working to isolate the area. So the Brazilian Air Force was called to the scene. They used certain techniques to gather data and confirm and preserve evidence. So this whole thing is a crime scene right now. And so we're getting an update. Is this the Civil Aviation Agency has given like an official update? They said they're aware of an air incident involving 2 helicopters. They're investigating the situation. And, they'll give an update of that. They're basically saying they regret the incident. There's solid solidarity with the families and friends of the victim, and reiterate to all passengers that general aviation flights, you should verify the status and companies of aircraft before boarding. Now, I wonder if is that something they say to everybody, or are we going to later find out that maybe somebody was not doing something they should have done, or the company wasn't doing certain things that maybe should have been done a certain way? I don't know. Let's see if we can get this translated. Mayor says there's a foreigner among the victims of the helicopter accident. So I guess that's the mayor doing some sort of press conference or interview. Obviously, I'm guessing that's not going to be in English, so I'm not going to be able to react to that properly. But yeah, the mayor's kind of out there confirming. The actual mayor, Eduardo Cavalieri, actually got in conversation with the press at the scene and confirmed that it was a foreigner on the flight. And we already saw those pictures, so... Yeah, it said 45 military personnel and 15 vehicles were all deployed to the scene, so it was a really serious accident. The military fire department was dispatched to the location. They had specialized teams from the Special Operations Group and the Unmanned Aerial Vehicles Coordination Unit. So this was really, really serious. And it's just really, really bad, man. I'm just so sad to see it. So what's interesting is that came from the aviation subreddit. I'm curious to know what the aviation subreddit think of this situation. People saying, damn, my 2 worlds colliding in the worst way possible. That's awful. It says dropped out of the sky. What is this? Oh, no. Is this the video of it? All right. Well, look. Trigger warning. Okay, I'm certain we're not going to see anything grisly. We're not going to see anyone actually getting hurt in this clip. But this is probably going to show like the explosion, just the moment the explosion kind of hit the ground and some of the aftermath. So I just want to warn you, this is going to show at least just the aftermath. I don't think we're going to see anyone hurt, but let's take a look. Man. So you saw there, the helicopter really just straight falling out the sky. It's not careering off. It's just straight down into the ground, man. So it must have been a hard collision in the air that just completely sent that helicopter downwards. I mean, I'm no aviation expert, but that is messed up. Damn. And so this is the scene in the parking lot where it's all on fire and just... You're hearing bangs as well. I wouldn't be surprised if that was electric vehicle batteries exploding. So you can't really see the helicopter, you can just see kind of all these flames. And really, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of that is the burning cars. Man, it's just so sad to see. People are saying a mid-air collision will do that. Send another aircraft or like a cell tower. Does anyone have the flight radar history? It says it was another helicopter. It says, I've never seen helicopters fall like some sort of bug that had a heart attack mid-air. It's so disturbing. They're obviously helicopter shape, yet falling like a rock one after another. They must have been so scared, then nothing. It said, hoping the initial impact with the other one knocks all parties out cold. It's really a horrific thing that happened. So it reminds me of the 2 SeaWorld helicopter crashes. The passengers saw it coming right at them before the pilot did. Scary. Pilot debrief made a video. It's so scary. It says, damn, that's tragic as hell. I enjoyed his strange looks and sound. People saying they listened to his music full on in the pandemic. He died so young. We're going to miss him. Saying, is this true? I'm not seeing it anywhere else. It is true, unfortunately. People saying they're looking up who he is. Tell me it isn't confirmed. I wasn't a big fan of his music, but I liked a few tracks. Just shocking. Way too young. And people are confirming that it is real. He played Sao Paulo just recently. Was on his world tour. Apparently there were a lot of fatalities in the incident. So it's just so sad, man. And people are kind of pulling up his old lyrics. Said Alien Boy lyrics hit kind of different now. I fell down to earth from 100 miles away and somehow I still make it work. but it's overrated and somehow played out. Wait a minute. You know, I'm not the most informed as far as his whole catalog. You know, a few of his songs really caught me and I thought were interesting, but it is sad to see. And you know, I'm not trying to say there's anything to this. It's just like it is really sad because it's so many. I've seen so many rappers go out, and then there's so many lyrics that they have that just kind of feel so eerie and spooky when it's compared to what actually ended up happening. I fell down to earth from 100 miles away, and somehow I still make it work, but it's overrated and somehow played out. Yeah, it's scary, man. That's just really sad. So I'll just show you a couple more reactions from people around the internet. This is r/music, and they've actually removed the post. I don't know why they would remove the post, but that is pretty embarrassing that they would remove this post because really that is an important post. It is the biggest music news going on. I guess they let someone else repost it, but that was the original. But I'm going to read the comments on this one still. People saying that they was a day one fan. His stuff rocks. R.I.P. Died way too young. He had such a bright future ahead of him. He was just starting to break into the mainstream. I heard one of his songs playing in Dollar General last week, and my wife heard him in the nail salon too. We've been fans for years, really hoping to finally see him on this tour. Just heartbreaking. People say, I met this guy recently on the Great Wall of China, of all places. What a nice guy, despite being understandably exhausted. R.I.P. man. Don't fly in helicopters, people. Death traps. Facts. F helicopter. Bro, don't fly in helicopters. No need. Absolutely no need. Right? Absolutely no need. So it is confirmed. People saying I thought it was a joke. I'm not going to lie. When I saw it, I thought it was a publicity stunt because that's how he gets down. But apparently not. Apparently this really was going down. People saying rest in peace, man. It's crazy. No way. I thought it was one of his character gags when I saw the headline. This sucks. Okay, people, when you become famous, avoid helicopters. They seem to crash a lot with famous people on board, and don't even think about piloting them yourselves. All right, I would avoid them full stop. Doesn't matter how famous you are. I'm definitely ain't getting no helicopters anytime soon. That is insane. So he was quite close to H3 Productions, Ethan Klein, and obviously this has been quite a big piece of news for his subreddit too. People saying rest in peace. With You was one of my favorite songs of all time. I won't be listening to it the same ever. His music genuinely got me through so many low times in life. I'm so gutted the world lost such a beautiful soul. It's so sad, man. He was my most listened to artist of 2025 on YouTube Music. It'll be a little bittersweet listening to it again. Nobody gets in a helicopter thinking it's the last moment of their life. The first time I'm actually a fan of someone who's actually died. I don't think my brain's processing it right now. He's the same age as me. Really lost for words. Devastating. It hits close to home, man. I'm just so sad to hear this. Like, it is just heartbreaking, man. So young, so much potential, so talented. That just goes to show you, man. You know, it can happen to anyone at any time, man. You got to be careful out there. Definitely. I don't think I'm ever going to fly in a helicopter again, bro. Last time I flew in a helicopter like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was shitting myself. Absolutely terrified, bro. Too shaky, too risky. No way. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that no more, right? So sad. But anyway, rest in peace to Oliver Tree, man. Rest in peace to Gatsby. So devastating to hear this news. Gone way too young, man. But they had amazing lives. They left behind amazing work, inspired millions of people, and, you know, they should be proud. What an amazing legacy to leave behind. Like, very few people in such a short space of time, with only a third of, you know, what should have been their life, was able to achieve so much. So, you know, they should be proud. And it's tragic, man. Rest in peace to them. Yeah, man. Really, really heartbreaking stuff. See you guys in the next one.